Whether you're just starting out or you've been in this industry for 15 years, you need to believe it and fully embody that you are that luxury brand. This is what I think five-star service actually means. And it's not just cute branding colors and a cute logo and popping into your social media on a consistent basis. Welcome to the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, the show for bridal hairstylists, makeup artists, beauty pros, and yes, even brides who want the behind the veil scoop. I'm your host, Heather Dick, bridal business coach, salon owner, and ringmaster of a 50-person squad that styles hundreds of weddings every year. Around here, we go beyond the hairspray. Think scaling your business, setting boundaries, surviving high-pressure moments, and creating client experiences that everyone raves about. So whether you're building your bridal empire or planning your big day, grab a coffee or champagne, and let's talk business, beauty, and a whole lot of bridal. Hello. I am back with the Expansion Code Bridal Edition. Today, I would like to talk about something actually that I've been feeling for a couple years. And it's the fact that we've almost stopped offering five-star service. And that could be the next marketing pitch. We always talk about what's the next thing in marketing, right? So whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Substack, whatever, all of these things, newsletters. And actually, Cameron, my fiance, and I talked about this a couple years ago. And we decided that the next new marketing greatness would be five-star service, because very rarely do we get it nowadays. And I'm talking about, I'll use Louis Vuitton as an example. If you've ever been into Louis Vuitton, you know exactly what you're getting every time you walk in there. And I think that what we've started to do is we've lost our way a little bit with clients, communication, boundaries, ways they can contact our systems that we're using to book. And I want to get into that in this episode, because we can nail it down for you in a quick, 20-minute podcast episode that's going to help you kind of get some clarity on the way to land more clients. And it's not rewriting and making a whole new website. It's very easy systems that I've implemented with my business and I think would be really helpful for you. We've started to rely on our social media pages a lot. And I think that, as I've talked about in previous episodes, that is very important nowadays. But the social media page will get them to you. What you do in the DMs or your emails and your booking system is what is going to nail down that booking. I hear this all the time. I just had a coaching client yesterday. She's like, I hate being salesy. Well, you're not really being salesy. You're offering a solution to an issue that they're having or a service that they're needing. That's what you're offering for your clients. So you're not being salesy. It's not like you're hitting them up with, hey, I've got hair and makeup on 25% off all weekend long, like with big balloons and stuff. That's not what you're doing. What you're doing is you're providing a service. They're brides, they're clients that need hair and makeup, and you're offering it to them. Doing things like following up, having automated sales emails. I think that is great. And that's a backbone for your business. Even 5 years ago, I saw the shift where referrals weren't enough. Instagram wasn't completely saturated 5 years ago. Brides weren't vetting 15 makeup artists before they booked. They had their top 1, 2, or 3. Now, what is happening is they're cross-checking a million different vendors at a time. They expect speed, clarity, and they expect an experience. So what does it look like when they sit in your chair, when they come to your studio, even if it's a home studio? And I think that we're seeing that a lot, even just 7-second clips on social media. These brides are getting pampered, and I freaking love it. I'm happy that it's encouraged us to step up our service as well, because what was happening is we would have artists that did a full facial massage before their makeup application on their bride or client. And then I had some girls barely prepping skin. So what's happening is it's creating the consistency across the board. And clients are paying good money for your services. Why shouldn't they get something extra like that? I'm going to go into things like what I think five-star service means. And again, I'll keep going back to Louis Vuitton, because I purchased a few bags directly from the store. And it's a great example of how I think that you should be offering your service. Because, girl, you are a bougie luxury brand. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in this industry for 15 years, you need to believe it and fully embody that you are that luxury brand. Okay, so this is what I think 5-star service actually means. And it's not just cute branding colors and a cute logo and popping into your social media on a consistent basis. I have always tried to be as speedy with responses as possible. Within 24 hours, for sure. I used to be 12 hours. I've kind of slacked a little bit just since my business has grown and my tasks have grown to not just booking brides. But what I actually did recently do was hire a sales manager who gets back to brides within hours, like a few hours. Now, I know a lot of you are going to feel conflicted on this, and I do struggle with training our clients to expect this immediate response. Okay. So I get it. I do get it. However, a lot of solo artists out there, which is who's listening to this podcast, you guys are answering your DMs like every hour. So when someone is inquiring with you through Instagram and you're answering within an hour, you're probably going to get that job if the following things work for you. So, speedy response. I also think clear booking steps are important. At the beginning, we were willy-nilly. It was a gong show. And I see a lot of my coaching clients now. It's like, we use a Google Doc for this, and then we use a Google Calendar for this. And I just text my artists to see if they're available. Yo, you got to stop that. You need to have not even necessarily a streamlined system. I don't even care if it's fast on your end. I mean, that's a whole other episode. From your client experience, it needs to be clear as day what the pricing is, what they're getting, how much it costs, how much time you need, and how they can pay their deposit. And I think that, or retainer, whatever you call it, that needs to be very, very clear before they even book. Okay. None of this like, I'm going to secure you for my wedding date and I'll get you the pricing after. What? Who books like that? I would never. Let's quit the confusion, okay? Like Cameron, my fiance, would say, let's pretend we do this for a living. The second one is confidence. I want you to embody that confidence when you're discussing pricing with your clients, when you are getting the first point of contact with them. I want you to be the Louis Vuitton rep that sits behind the desk and says, I'm sorry, ma'am. No, we cannot give you a discount on this bag because Louis Vuitton would never give you a discount on their $5,000 bag. Even if that bag costs $300 to make, it doesn't matter. They've built that brand. They have established themselves as authorities in the industry for offering a luxury bag, luggage, whatever you want to call it. You need to do that too. So none of this, and I stopped this quite a few years ago. I used to do this. So please don't think that I'm like preaching at you from like on my high horse. I used to do this. When brides would say, oh, that's out of my budget. Okay, well, what is your budget? Maybe we can work with it. Stop that, please. Please stop. Only do that if you have apprentice artists and stylists that you can actually offer them a lower price. Otherwise, your price is your price, my friend. And you will thank me for this down the road. I know that it seems really hard to do, but you are just cheapening your brand. And honestly, you're cheapening everyone's brand when you do that. When you are teaching your clients that they can negotiate their prices. And I want us to stop that. Ooh, that sounded really ranty. I didn't mean for it to. I have a smile on my face. I promise. I love you. Again, I've been there. But yeah, we got to stop that, my friends. You have to remember verbiage is it tells a lot about how you feel about things. So it's like, hey, yeah, no problem at all. So here's my pricing. Like, let me know if that works for you or not. I'm open to negotiations or like, I'd love to take your booking. Okay. When I go to buy groceries at Costco, the price is the price, my friend. So, and they don't say, oh, I'm sorry, or Louis Vuitton again. Let me know if that works for you. No, it either does or it doesn't. Hey, Sarah, thank you so much for inquiring with Blush Artistry. We would love to get you booked with us. I've sent you off a quote for services. Please have a look. Let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to hearing from you and getting you booked in with the Blush babes. And then I say, like, just so you know, you get a discount with all the other services in the studio, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Not anywhere did I ask if it's okay or if I'm like tiptoeing around. Sarah, here's the pricing. Let me know if you have questions. And we need a deposit and contract, So just stand firmly in your power and where your feet are. You got this, my friends. I promise you. If you ever have questions about that, always hit me up. I promise I'll help you. Another thing that I know is great that 5-star brands, luxury brands do is they have things set out before you even know you need them. So frequently ask questions, things like how long does my service take? When are you available? All of those things. Be ready and maybe even provide those answers before they ask them. It just shows that you're caring, you're attentive, and you're already on it. They're like, oh man, this chick's got it together. Prep instructions. You can do that. I mean, potentially before they book, but definitely before their appointment, So providing an email, what we would do at Blush is they get an automatic email 5 days prior to their appointment date with instructions on how to best prepare. So here's how we want your hair to be, your skin, here's some ideas on what to bring. Also, the studio manager and our client manager sends them an email or calls them and says, hey, do you have any questions about your appointment? Here's what we recommend you do. And then we even go one step further. We just implemented this last year and it's been a blessing. Is we send an email 6 months, 3 months, and 1 month out from their wedding date. 6 months. Here's when you want to start getting your hair extensions if you're thinking about doing that. If you're thinking about getting new skin treatments, all of that kind of stuff is when you want to start this. 3 months, and so on. So this is just supporting your client in a way that they didn't even know they needed it.
Quick pause because I have to brag on my first business baby, Blush Artistry. If you know me, you know that Blush isn't just work, it is love. And we are talking hair, makeup, skin treatments, private personal training, the full beauty experience inside and out that makes you feel like the main character, whether it's your wedding day, a birthday, or just because you love taking care of yourself. My team, they are absolute pros. They've got the talent, the heart, and the hype to make you feel amazing. That's why Blush is the go to beauty squad in Western Canada. Can I get an amen? So if you're ready for a little glow up moment, head to blush artistry.ca or catch us on Instagram at blushartistrymua. All right, let's get back to the show.
What I noticed before we did this is we would get questions like that all the time. So, like, if I'm really wanting to get hair extensions, when should I get that? I would think I want to get Botox and filler before my wedding. When do I do that? I want to get a peel. So, what we're doing is we're just solving a problem before it happens. It's also holding their hand. I mean, brides are stressed, especially if they don't have a planner. It can be your little wedding bestie. And then the last point that I want to talk about that every brand and luxury brand should have in service is consistency. Your prices stay consistent, your tone stays consistent. So with my team members, I had to work really hard and kind of like get over myself and just bite the bullet with training them to use the same verbiage that I use. And you guys, it's so silly. I'm like, hey, could you pop a few more exclamation marks in your emails? Maybe a little heart emoji? That sounds so dumb, but that's how I talk. And our clients have learned to get used to that, like really like jovial, friendly, warm tone. If you're a very professional and like straight forward to the point kind of type person, then train your team or your sales team to do that or stay consistent with that if you're doing bookings yourself. Clients know what to expect from you. Systems, like I had mentioned before, the same booking system, the same way that you do things always. So if you only DM with your clients and you don't text or email, stay that way. Veering away from those communication methods can get a little confusing. I've noticed that with our clients that they're like, "Oh, I didn't know if I should like call or text or so and so." Just stick with one point and lay it out in your contract and just make sure that that stays the same for your clients and they'll know exactly what to expect. 5-star service, whether you're in a hotel, whether you're in a Michelin star restaurant, whether you're in a, Chanel or YSL, whatever, you know what to expect every single time you walk into that store. And you can absolutely take on that presence in your service industry, whether that's hair and makeup or aesthetics or nails or whatever. Aesthetics and nails are the same thing, but you know what I mean. We need to get back to that 5-star service because that is what keeps people coming back and that's what keeps people referring it. And then things like your free Instagram tool is like just a great foundation and a nice little support sling for your 5-star business. So it's like, hey, we already offer incredible service. We've got amazing client experience. We've nailed that down. My Instagram is going to support that system and get new people in. So when they come in, now they're already sold. It's so hard not to sound ranty. I'm not trying to. I'm very passionate about these topics, and I think that because I have literally gone through all of this with my businesses and tried so many things year after year. I mean, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel so much, but this industry is always changing, and clients are always changing how they buy, who they book with, the trends. So I just want you to know this is coming from like a very sincere, compassionate part of my heart. I want to talk about selling next. My mom is a great saleswoman. She sold meat for Canada Packers and Maple Leaf Foods for a really long time. That's a company in Canada. I don't even know if Maple Leaf's around anymore, but she could sell snow to an Eskimo. And so I came by that honestly. And I realized that not everyone is like that. So I'm going to pretend I don't know how to sell and act like, I'm coaching someone that doesn't know how to sell, which happens all the time, actually. You don't have to. You're not selling. You are offering a service to someone who needs it. If someone is coming to you, or even if, I think about golfing all the time. I'm a big golfer. It's a predominantly male sport. I talk about my business all the time when I'm golfing. First of all, it's a lot of my identity. So it's what I do. But you never know who your next client could be. I've had so many phone calls from wives of men that I golfed with to book a hair appointment or get their nails done. And I think we kind of take networking for granted. People, that's who's booking you. So just talk about your business. Even just your goal this week is to just talk about your business to one stranger. Okay. I think I did an episode about this in season 1 or 2 or 3. I'm not sure. But just take that goal and you're like, okay, one out of 7 days this week, I'm going to talk to one stranger about my business, and put yourself in situations where you are with strangers. I know it's uncomfortable. I know we don't love that, especially nowadays. Like, we aren't very social beings anymore. But my friends, networking is how you get the business, and networking is how you keep the business. I hear all the time, like, I don't want to look desperate. I hate sales. What if they think I'm expensive? So what? If you don't sell confidently, they will think you're expensive. You're gonna create this like doubt in their mind. You will have a lower perceived value. So, a lot of times, like I've seen some really confident makeup artists and hairstylists on my team, and they absolutely crush it. So if we need to do like some one-on-one coaching for confidence and put you in environments where you win in order to build your confidence, that's what we do. I mentioned it earlier in this episode. We need to do it like it's our job. We need to sell like our job depends on it, because it does. And so one thing that we started doing, which I've seen a huge uptick in just recently, before I would let my scheduling program automatically follow up on quotes. And it was just a blanket email, like, hey, Sarah, just wondering if you had any questions about your quote. We're here for you. We're booking, quite quickly. Boring. And so many times that email got overlooked. Now with my new sales manager, bless her heart, I need to shout her out so many times. She's up 140% in January, which is incredible. She follows up with them. She has a spreadsheet, so she marks down. Honestly, I don't know what her spreadsheet looks like. It would probably make my eyes cross. But she sends them a quote. She follows up with them within 2 or 3 days. Hey, Sarah, we sent you that quote. I was just wondering if you had any questions about it. We only have 2 spots left on that date. I would hate for you to lose your spot. If you were looking to book, like, let me know if you have any questions. I saw a post saying that if a client ghosts you, let them. And I fully 1000% disagree. These brides are busy. They are, like I said, inquiring with 15 vendors lots of times if they aren't 100% set on their caterer or their venue or whatever. They're overloaded. We are inundated with notifications on a regular basis, emails, text messages. And so you're not bugging them, you're helping them. And even if the answer is like, oh, hey, you know what? Sorry, I forgot to let you know. We actually booked with someone else. No problem. I'm so happy to hear that. Let us know if anything changes. We'll be here. Done. All good. Thank you, Sarah. Moving on. Next, now I can put my energy into someone else. Don't take rejection as a bad thing. It's a lot of times, like I've mentioned in past episodes, I ask for feedback. Okay, no problem. That's great. If you'd like to let us know why you booked someone else, it's really important for us to understand why our clients do and don't choose us. So if you're comfortable sharing that, please let me know. And we wish you all the best. Lots of times, 99% of the time, we went with someone cheaper. All good. We weren't the person for you anyways. So the follow-ups, I think that it's important that we get away from that. And if you're not a tracking type person, figure it out. Make a list, write a name and number in your notes section on your phone. July 18th, Sarah Smith, 780, whatever. Follow up. I think that that's something that you should and would really see a very big benefit and uptick in your bookings, especially if you're struggling. Okay, so here's my checklist that I created for you. It's just something, like I've talked about in the opening episode of season 4, tactical things that we can implement. I want you to reflect on these. Is your inquiry response clear? Do you have a strong close? So, whatever that looks like to you. Do you follow up? Is your pricing presented confidently? Do you have an onboarding system that feels premium and not just like, hey, yeah, I'm available. What's up? Are you educating your client before they ask? And are you asking for the booking directly? I love that one. We do it all the time. In order to secure your date, we require a signed agreement and retainer. Once that complete, your team is officially reserved. Clean, clear, no weirdness, no awkwardness, no wishy-washy. What's that saying from the clean, clear, not an out of control? It was an old commercial, whatever. Anyways, I'm digressing. That's how my brain works. My friends, I feel like this episode will work for a lot of you. If not, it's a great reminder that we need to just continue forth and embodying that Louis Vuitton service, because if you want luxury clients, you have to run a luxury experience. And that doesn't just mean spending 3 hours on their hairstyle. I'm getting married in September. I don't want anyone to spend 3 hours on my hairstyle. I don't want anyone nitpicking at me, taking photos of me for an hour. Get out of there. I want someone to be clear. I want them to respond to my messages. I want them to give me my answers, and maybe even before I ask them. If you want stability, you have to sell consistently. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I really, really enjoy recording. I actually was supposed to record with another guest today, but we were talk about wishy-washy. We were wishy-washy on our episode today, and I was like, if you want to cancel, you can cancel. She's like, no, we're good. And then we canceled. So I jumped on here anyways. I said I was going to be more authentic, and here I am showing up. It's something that popped into my mind this morning. So have an awesome day. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, your VIP access to a booked out, balanced, and thriving bridal business. If you loved today's episode, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow beauty pro. For more tips and behind the scenes magic, hang out with me on Instagram at IamHeatherDick or visit theexpansioncode.ca. Until next time, keep slaying those styles, leading with confidence, and remember, every detail counts, and so do you. Another little disclaimer, while I love sharing advice and business wisdom, I am not your lawyer, I am not your accountant, and I am not your fairy godmother. If you do want to be best friends, though, you can hit me up. Everything on this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only, so no lawsuits, okay?